Dude, did you see this Voltron stuff, man? We got this from Comic-Con, yeah?
This is the exclusive.
Really?
From San Diego.
What?
Seriously, check this out. Whoa, wait a minute. What's this? Let me read the back here. Read the back.
I'll give you a hand with that.
Oh.
Oh,
All right. Is this how it looks when you actually assemble it?
I think so. Here.
Wait.
See,
How big is this thing?
Big.
Oh, it's 16 inches? Oh my gosh. How much does it run?
$30.
Oh, $130? That's it, huh?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? For
that's
exclusive.
Cheap.
Dude, it's exclusive.
You get 5 mini line bots that come together to make one giant one.
That's like 6 toys in one, guy. Come on.
You know, for your $130 Voltron, though, I know someone who could take them out. My Phoenix could take out your Voltron.
You know what? I'm not doubting.
You know, Wayne's not here to defend Voltron. I know he's like a huge Voltron fan, so he's not going to be able to defend it tonight. But no. Defender of the Universe would definitely be taken out by this girl right here. So.
But could she beat that Bat Who Laughs? That one Bat Boy?
The Batman Who Laughs. Well, you know what? He hasn't been in the game long enough. I mean, he does look pretty cool and creepy.
He looks like the mouth of Sauron.
Oh yeah,
he's got that winner smile. You can't.
Bright.
You know what?
If you think about it,
I don't think he can have a bad day. If you smile like that, you're bound to always be in a good mood, right?
Absolutely.
Or and what we got here? We got.
I don't know.
Is this a
Superman? Yeah.
Lego,
is this a wood Lego Superman?
No. Is it actually made of wood?
It looks like it.
He's
Like
boxy. He's quite.
He looks
boxy.
like he's made of cardboard boxes. You know what? Kryptonians very fibrous. I found this out.
Is also Superman?
It looks like it's modern Superman, and that might be
the throwback.
Fleischer Brothers Batman, like that old animated series.
Oh, okay, all right.
And dude, the trailers. You saw the trailers, yeah?
Which ones?
Oh
There are a
gosh,
few of them, right?
Aquaman. I saw the Aquaman one. That one was sick.
Aquaman trailer, yeah. Actually,
That looked good.
it looks like DC's actually got another decent movie up their sleeve.
Maybe.
Yeah, and and then there was also Teen Titans, dude.
All right, Teen Titans I wasn't quite high on.
Don't even get me
I
started
don't
with
think
Teen
so.
Titans.
Yeah.
I could not be less happy.
They totally like ruined their characters. It seems from that trailer. I don't know.
Like
It's a DC thing to do.
It's
really
to
be expected. Really.
Dude, the fact that they made Raven Raven in the comics was cool. In the animated series, she was awesome, and then they made her super scared and shy.
She's like, yeah, well, she doesn't seem like she knows that she's like a something special, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know.
and where's Cyborg, man? Is he just stuck with the Justice League now? I think he's the one who lost the most in that situation.
Maybe. You know, I just can't get out of my head the Conan O'Brien skit just recently that I watched that showed the Hall of Heroes, the League of Heroes, and Batman's trying to join the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And Cyborg short circuits himself at lunch. DC you later, nerd.
On DC, there was also Shazam. That looked pretty cool.
Shazam looks awesome.
So they're gonna
Okay.
drop
All right.
3 movies, one after the other, after the other.
Yeah, what the heck?
Well,
DC dominated that San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, Teen Titans isn't a movie; it's a series.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah, it's a series that
Oh,
are
wow,
writing.
so it's gonna be like an ongoing pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing disappointment.
Just piling it on.
Is that what DC stands for? Disappointing crap?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But guys, my heart of hearts goes
Yeah.
out to Goji. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Come on, guys.
That does look good. I got a little bit confused as to who the bad guy was in the trailer, though.
That you know what? We were
was
just
that whole
talking
thing?
about that. It was because it's like you got Goji, you got Mothra,
Mm-hmm.
and then we see Rodan coming out of the volcano,
Yep.
and then we see Ghidorah. So it's like,
All
wait,
frozen up in ice.
Yeah.
and we see Ghidorah's free at least 4 times. I saw multiple golden lightning bolts, which is very indicative of Ghidorah.
Yeah.
And then we get that awesome silhouette with the lightning,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like my thought is, it's King of the Monsters. Obviously it's a reboot.
Yep.
Where Rodan and Goji are duking it out as they do,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and Mothra, the OG defender of Earth, goes, "Aye, peace, my dudes.
Yep.
Let's go deal with that guy." And they point to the perfect golden dragon with 3 heads.
So where does Godzilla come into all that play?
It's Godzilla, man.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Godzilla rocks. I'm excited for it. That's probably the best trailer that premiered. I don't know.
And I appreciate that they brought Eleven in to do her 11 thing by screaming while like things are short circuiting and everything is shaking around her.
Yeah.
Is that because Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are a little bit busy these days?
Maybe.
They were the power couple in the first Godzilla.
Yeah, that's right. They were.
No, they weren't. That
right.
was Kick-Ass in Scarlet Witch.
No.
No, it was the same guy who plays what's his name? Plays Quicksilver.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it is that guy.
Really? I thought
It is.
everywhere I read, I'm like, oh no, that's the guy who was in Kick.
Well, we're gonna have to go back and watch that movie.
Oh, of course.
The new one premieres. So, anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. I can't wait.
Comic-Con's great. We got Boston Fan Expo coming up real soon.
Yep.
I mean, we're going.
Oh, you guys are going. I'm not going. Someone's got to run the shop.
Oh, yeah. No.
Plus, I get a Def Leppard concert to go to.
Oh, dude. Def Leppard. Ace is my dude.
Yep.
Every Friday.
All right.
All right.
We should probably get this video started pretty soon.
What
do you say?
Video?
Yeah. So here we are, another episode of Pop Culture Talk at Great Stories. We've got a little bit of a different team in front of you here today.
Yeah. Today we've got the Peanut Gallery joining us.
Yes.
Hello, I'm the Peanut Gallery,
Producer
otherwise
guy.
known as Phil.
Also known as Producer Guy.
That's
I
me.
think in the credits he's named himself some other things too.
Sweet Chestnut.
Sweet
Sweet
Chestnut.
Chestnut.
Sweet Chestnut.
What's that a reference to?
We'll get into that another time.
Well, I feel like we gotta give credit. Credit is due.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons thing. There was a character who called himself Sweet Chestnut, and I do a pretty good impression of him, so the nickname kind of stuck.
Guess it's an inside joke.
It is an inside joke.
I'm not even in the loop on that one. But that being said, we are the team that's going to bring you what's the latest and greatest in pop culture here.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a little bit different show. Obviously, we're missing some key components, but we're adding a new one, which is a great thing. A little dynamic switch.
Yep.
So
little change of pace never hurt anyone.
Little change of pace. So
if you do say so yourself.
If I do say so myself.
We're going to keep the mics and the seats warm for our friends who are missing this week. So anyway,
we hope to find them soon.
We do. So
we got to get the hounds out for them.
My name's Chris Mills. We got Tyler Hamill and Phil Hamill.
Is that one?
Yes, they're related.
Your name is Hamill too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I know.
You know what? My cousin's name is Phil.
Really?
Yeah,
I couldn't sit in the middle, by the way, because it would have been a Hamill sandwich. Not good. Not good. We didn't want to go with that joke, although I had to mention it just now. So anyway,
the Hamill's run this place.
There is Hamill overload
so
here. Yes.
Mark would be pleased.
Mark would be very pleased. Yes.
I meant my dad.
Yes.
we figured. All right.
Yes.
But
on
we go.
Not a Star Wars reference this time. Sorry, Wayne, if you're watching out there. Anyhow, we are going to be talking a little bit Stephen King related territory.
Yes.
Castle Rock, which is just premiering on Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I definitely just watched it like a half an hour ago.
Nice. See, Tyler came prepared tonight, so
this is
good.
Grand change of pace for him.
I only watched like 2 episodes, so.
Is that all it was? Yeah. 2 episodes? That's all right. 2 episodes.
Like 1 and a half, really.
That's half of the material, so that's pretty good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
He's only
really
half
good.
prepared, but that's okay.
So Hulu premiered Castle Rock. We've been hearing a lot about this show. It's Castle Rock. For those of you who don't know, is the fictional town that appears in a lot of Stephen King's works. For the last probably dozen years or so, there hasn't been much Castle Rock material in his repertoire. Oh. He kind of let the town die with a certain book called Needful Things, which may be known to some of you. It was a wonderful movie starring Max von Sydow, but a great book. But a lot of the books that preceded that also took place in Castle Rock, or the books referenced Castle Rock as a town. A lot of bad stuff happened there. You had, we'll go into that a little bit, I think, as we talk about the show. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of references and Easter eggs in the show for the Stephen King.
So many references.
And
it makes the book aficionado in me so happy to see references to other Stephen King's works.
Yes, and so I was very excited about the show because not only were we getting a show that was based on the fictional town, and we didn't really know how it would relate to the works, but who is it that's behind it? But J.J. Abrams, who, for me, the guy who was behind Lost, the guy who's behind the Cloverfield movies.
Super 8 was really good too.
Super 8, this guy, to me, he churns out some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Very good at suspense, J.J. Abrams.
Very good at suspense. Yeah. And so this was something that I just couldn't wait to sink my teeth into. And so over the last week, Hulu premiered the first 3 episodes. During the premiere, they made the first 3 episodes available. And every Wednesday, they release 1 more episode. So we have since gone on a week and actually got a 4th episode. I have watched all 4. These guys have...
I've only seen the first couple.
First couple.
So 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler's
couple
prepared.
is 2. And so let's talk about it. What's the first thing that jumps out at you about this show? What?
There are things.
There are things. Things that occur.
References to things.
Yep.
References to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're getting your content confused because the thing's not a Stephen King work, believe it or not.
No, it's more of an it, right?
It's more of an it.
It's
an
maybe it. That's what it is.
Speaking of it,
yes.
Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the 2017 It, actually plays a role in this series as an unknown. He's a rando, but there's some really weird stuff going on with him.
Yep.
People are seeing things around him. They found him in a cage, like in an oil tank, in an abandoned part of a prison.
Which prison, though?
Shawshank.
Ah.
They found him.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. Good job, buddy.
So the setup of this the show, is that it kind of goes back in time. They do a flashback at the beginning. All right. Unfortunately, for those of you watching out there are going to be spoilers here, plenty, because we can't make it interesting without spoiling it. So maybe you ought to pause the video, go watch some of the episodes, then come back to us.
And tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about the show.
Absolutely. See if you agree with the things that we decide to, the conjecture that comes out of this little meeting here. But, so you start off with a flashback. And the flashback includes a name that might be familiar to you, Alan Pangborn, who is a sheriff of Castle Rock. And he's appeared in the books, all right? And he comes across a boy that's lost in the woods for like 11 days. He's like standing in the middle of the lake, frozen lake, in the dead of winter. And then we flash forward basically all these years later. We find out that this boy has grown up to be he's a lawyer for people who are on death row. So he basically defends murderers. And meanwhile, Castle Rock, which has been the scene of all these horrific incidents throughout King's novels, stuff that's referenced in Cujo.
Yeah, they talk about Cujo. They talk about in like newspaper clippings and what have you. They reference a rabid dog terrorizing the town.
Yes.
There's also reference to
a missing shopkeeper, which was the Needful Things reference.
Needful Things.
They have some of the newspaper clippings also kind of reference the missing boys, I think, from It.
Yes,
which does not take place in Castle Rock, but takes place a few miles away.
About 30.
The dead boy that was found on the side of the railroad tracks.
Yes,
they reference Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, the body, which was from a book called Different Seasons, which was 4 novellas, which curiously, Shawshank Redemption, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption was one of the stories in Different Seasons. So both of those materials are referenced. You're going to get a ton of other Easter eggs in here, but basically they are put like into the script of the show. They weave the fabric of all these different King works into it. And the bottom line is that Castle Rock has been more or less incident-free
Yeah.
of these horrific events for many, many years, like about 30 years or something like that. And
about that, yeah.
And why is that? Why is this town that has, so much tragedy has befallen it and so much blood has been spilled, and why is it now that all of a sudden we have peace? And I think that brings us to a guy named Lacey, who is played by, I wish I knew the actor's name, but if you're familiar with Lost, John Locke from Lost plays the warden of Shawshank Prison. And he has kept a secret for many years.
He's kept a huge secret, and he would not tell anyone of this secret because, again, we read spoilers. Massive spoilers right here. He kills himself. His day starts, he gives his wife breakfast in bed, and then he drives out to a cliff where he ties a noose around his neck and ties the other into a tree. And if you're squeamish, I'm sorry, but this is just what happened. I'm just the deliverer. He drives off the cliff. His car and body sink, and when they find the car, they can't find his head. It's gone.
So the significance of this is that this was the last day of his employment. He was retiring as warden.
Forced retirement.
Forced retirement from Shawshank. But you find out that perhaps, there's a lot more going on with this man that preceded this event.
Absolutely.
And he's been harboring a secret which has been kept in an abandoned wing of the prison. The prison, the reason why the wing of the prison is abandoned was because there had been a fire there. And in the tragedy of the fire, all the inmates perished. But they've never reopened this wing. And he has built a prison, basically a cage, inside an oil tank, inside this thing. And there has been this person played by Bill Skarsgård all along. We don't know who he is. We don't know his name. We don't know why he's been placed there, except the warden was convinced that he got orders from God to put this person there. We don't know how how they came to meet each other or anything like that. But for whatever reason, you can look at it as coincidence, or maybe it was very purposeful. The time in which he imprisoned him was the time at which
everything started to get good.
Everything started to get yes. So
something I just want to add. Skarsgård says almost nothing throughout the few episodes that I've seen. As far as I know, he only says 2 actual lines.
He says a name.
He says the name of Henry Deaver, thank you.
Who was
Henry
the young
Deaver,
boy who was...
now the lawyer for death row inmates.
Yes.
And also, he also is put into a cell with a Nazi skinhead, and he says, "I don't want you to touch me." Mm-hmm. And when next we see him, the skinhead is dead. Like, they carry his body away, and Skarsgård is put back into the cell. Mm-hmm. So clearly, there are.
What's important though is how. What did the autopsy say about how that man died?
The autopsy, I was going to get to that. Yeah. The autopsy reports that this skinhead was just racked with cancer everywhere in his body.
And that there's no way he should have even been able to be walking around with the amount of cancer in his body.
It's crazy. It's pure Stephen King insanity.
Yeah.
We are introduced to a bunch of side characters too, who I'm sure we're going to learn more about as the series progresses.
Yes.
What's
the most intriguing one to you?
The most intriguing character to me is I don't think we actually got her name yet, but she's shown up a couple times as this drug user. She's popping pills, and as she says, to quiet her other people's noise around her. And being a Stephen King fan, I'm postulating that she might have the power to shine, which, if you're a Stephen King fan, there's a lot of characters who can shine. Danny Torrance, Dick Halloran, I'm throwing this out there. You guys can agree with me or not, but the Losers Club. I think the Losers Club could also shine.
The Losers Club is from It.
From It. The main kids from It.
Yep.
Which is why they're able to defeat
Pennywise.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel that this nameless character, as of right now, has the power to shine.
And what does the power to shine include for those of our audience who
So
don't really know?
shining it generally has a wide spectrum of powers that you can read other people's minds to an extent. You can't read everyone like a book, but you get feelings from people.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen The Shining or read it, you know that Danny has the power to communicate with other people who can shine. Like, he and Dick Halloran are able to have full conversations with each other while Danny's in Colorado and Dick is in Florida.
So these are the two of the main characters from The Shining.
Yep.
And speaking of Shining references, there was also a character in this named Jackie Torrance, who has just kind of talked a couple times. She really hasn't established herself as a character yet.
Jackie.
Which, again, aficionado, I get the sense that she might actually be Danny's daughter, who he might have named his daughter after his father, Jack Torrance. Or it could just be an Easter egg. Who knows? We haven't gotten that far yet.
Because we know Danny must be really enthralled by his dad after that.
Yeah.
You know what? Book Danny still, at the end of it all, still loved his dad.
Loved his dad, yeah.
Movie Danny, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much.
in the book,
yeah.
In the book, Danny loved his dad through and through.
Yep.
And that's probably one of the reasons why I like the book better than the movie.
Did you actually read Dr. Sleep?
I have not read Dr. Sleep yet, but I read the Cliff Notes of it.
The Continuing Adventures of Danny Torrance. So, good book, by the way. It's going to be made a movie, so we'll be talking about that down the road, I'm sure.
Awesome. Can I be on that one too?
Of course you can.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Or at least you can peanut gallery it.
Of course. I can peanut gallery from behind the camera and Wayne can make quips at me. That's okay. I'll quip back.
There we go. So yeah, lots of things going on here. We've got a lot of characters. A little bit more about the character who can shine and who uses the drugs to try to block out, the voices. She is the neighbor growing up. She was the neighbor.
That's right.
Of Henry Deaver, and had a little bit of a childhood crush on him.
Yes,
you can call it that.
Yeah, and so there's that little connection there as well, and and then you have we got some other characters.
I'm trying to remember.
We
there's so many characters.
Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank.
They're introducing what I think is really well done is you have the Alan Pangborn character.
Yes.
Who he's shown as a younger man when he rescues Henry Deaver from the wilderness.
Yes.
But then later on he's shown in present day. And I think his name is Scott Campbell is the actor, I believe. But he is
it's Scott something, like, I don't remember his last name.
Or is it Scott Glenn? I can't remember.
Well, tell us below.
So yeah, tell us below. This is a moment for you to educate us. But anyway, his character, I love the actor because he's from the Daredevil show and he plays Stick in the Daredevil series, and he is wonderful as the blind guy who kicks butt and teaches Daredevil all his moves basically,
Yeah.
And
the wise blind sensei.
And he has a moment. He has a moment which he shined. His character shines where he encounters the new warden from Shawshank. She's like drinking in a bar, and he just kind of casually walks up to her, orders a
$6 course.
A $6 course, sits down next to her, and starts talking to her, and she wants nothing to do with him at all.
Not at all.
But then he drops a little bit of a story that all of a sudden has her
enthralled, enraptured with what he has to say.
Talking about her predecessor. and then he basically just fires a shot across the bow right at the end with a statement basically saying,
"Don't release the kid."
Don't, yeah, and I'm not gonna say his exact words because there might be kids watching, but I'm not gonna drop the F-bomb.
Oh no.
So, but I mean, like it's a very direct and very like you're kind of like, whoa, like right when he says it,
Yeah.
and it's like, so we don't know the story about what this kid is all about and everything, but we don't really know if he is like Satan incarnate or anything like that, but
or just
it's.
Can I postulate something again?
Sure, please do.
So Stephen King has not really made it subtle that a majority of his books, not necessarily all of them, but a majority of them share an interconnected universe.
Yes.
Long before Marvel, Disney, Pixar, all that stuff, before they ever considered making a combined universe, Stephen King was already working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, a theory. What if Bill Skarsgård is playing like a manifestation of the Negaverse, which is like the dark energies outside of our universe? So it's in the mist where the those bugs and monsters came from. They came from the Negaverse. Pennywise came from the Negaverse.
Is the Man in Black from?
No, the Man in Black or the Sorcerer is not from the Negaverse. He is he's trying to find the thing that basically ties the Negaverse, the multiverse, and all other.
So there is a connection, however, there.
There is a connection, and that connection is the Dark Tower. It's like, think of the Dark Tower as like a spoke, and all these different realities are wheels that are connected to this one spoke or axle, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it tethers everything, and it sort of gives power to different things. Is the Dark Tower necessarily good or evil? I haven't gotten through the series yet, so I can't say yay or nay on that. But I think Skarsgård is playing a literal manifestation of the dark powers that be in the Stephen King universe.
It's quite a theory, and
I do that a lot.
I think that it's you know what? I actually hope your theory is true. I hope there's relevance in the series, because I love the whole idea of the connectivity between all these stories. And this being the glue of that would be pretty awesome. I don't think there's any accident that Skarsgård was cast in this role. I really don't.
No, absolutely
Especially
not.
What is that relevance though?
What?
Who is Skarsgård?
In the context of
In
this
Yeah,
or
the rest
King's
of the,
works?
Yeah.
So in the current iteration of it, the first part, he plays Pennywise.
Oh.
He plays Pennywise the clown. And you'll be seeing him again because It Chapter 2 is coming out next year, I believe, right?
I think it's going to be like Christmas of next year
I haven't seen it yet, so that's one. It's on
Yeah.
my list of things to watch.
We'll make a weekend of it, buddy.
It's a good movie, and it's
Just get you nice and trashed and
but as
and
much-
let you watch that.
Why are you gonna come to my house and trash it? I don't understand.
as much as it's a good movie, it's a better book. So
With the book, I'm going to say this. Be patient with it. It is over 1,000 pages long, and a lot of it is... You know the joke of like, oh, this book is a brick? It is actually a brick. It is a... I have it at my house.
I'll probably audible that one.
Yeah, that...
Because
Like,
it
I
took
tried
me-
going through the book, and I'm just like, I would have an easier time if I'm listening to
It took me
this.
6 months to get through a 300-page book.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
You
slow
definitely wanna
reader.
go
I'm a
audible then.
very, very slow reader.
Yeah, you might want to audiobook that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So, bottom line is Castle Rock has a lot of good stuff going for it.
I'm excited.
It's
I'm
even
gonna
got
see this, right?
non-horror fans. I mean, you're thinking Stephen King, it's got to be horror, but in fairness,
feel like
before I
it's
go
more
down
like
that track,
intrigue than horror.
yeah, but
The
see, that's
horror
the
might
thing, I
come
think-
later, though. Like, they intrigue you at first, and then, like, they drop the horror on you.
Well,
Like, that's not uncommon.
I think
for
it
King.
is horror, but I think there's so much more to it than that. So,
Psychological horror.
Yeah, and the thing is, King, gets saddled as the master of horror. That's that's a moniker that he has, right? But people are surprised when they go back into the pantheon of his works. You know, when that movie Shawshank Redemption came out, they did everything they could not to put his name, you know, basically front and center of that, because they didn't want people to get the wrong idea. Tons of people who can't stand horror and would say, like, Stephen King, I'm not, I wouldn't watch that, you know, like, that's just a bunch of junk, you know, are shocked to find out, well, yeah, that movie that won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I was actually, I was like, hey, he wrote Shawshank? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Shawshank Redemption.
This guy over here.
Yeah,
that's his.
I literally found that out.
Stand By Me. I think he
By
also
Me,
wrote The Green Mile.
which was originally The Body. Both of those books, Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption and The Body, both came out of a book called Different Seasons, which was a collection of 4 novellas. What was it, the one that you just mentioned?
I'm pretty sure King also wrote The Green Mile.
He wrote The Green Mile, absolutely. Yep.
So I just wanted to say something else.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten. Henry's mother in the show is played by the actress who played Carrie in the film.
Sissy Spacek.
Thank you.
Who she also had a role in The Mist as well.
Yes.
Mm.
No, that was
one.
Lacey's wife.
Oh, you're right. I mixed them up.
The former warden's wife was the religious nut in The Mist.
The latest iteration of The Mist,
You're right.
which was only lasted 1 season. It got canceled. But yeah, there are lots of like different things happening.
Just
there,
little
like,
things.
Yeah, and some of them I think are coincidental, and some of them I think are very intentional.
It would not surprise me if none of them were coincidental.
Well, if Lacey's wife somehow has a tie to the character from that short-lived TV series, I'll be awfully surprised.
She did have a lot of religious imagery in her house.
She did, but it was not Christian. I mean, it was not in The Mist. She was not a.
That's right. That's right.
She was kind of a nature.
Like a druidic.
Yeah, exactly.
Druidic
it's
kind
a
of.
much different type of thing going on there.
Mother Earth and Father Son.
Yeah, exactly.
The good stuff.
But yeah, but even non-horror fans are really going to enjoy this. I mean, my wife is kind of hooked on the show along with me, and she was like, this is going to be scary. I don't think I want to watch this with you. And then she gave the first episode a try, and she was kind of like, oh, actually, that was pretty good. Like, I want to know more. I'm kind of hooked. I'm intrigued by this now, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we're 4 episodes in now, and she's like, oh, is there another episode? You know, like. So
is it Wednesday yet?
I can't wait for Wednesday.
I need to know.
So yeah, so I think you should definitely give it a try.
Absolutely.
You know, hopefully this will be a long-running series for Hulu. You know, we get a lot of good content.
Same
it
here.
Seems like there's tons of webs of stories that can go off in different directions as they introduce new characters, which is really cool.
Oh yeah.
With that,
go watch it.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
All right. What else do we got? Do we have anything? That you've.
I think we're talking trailers, right?
No. I know you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's
yes.
Right. That's right. Not a trailer.
Yeah.
It's a
So.
movie.
I know, right?
So after we've got Avengers: Infinity War. We had Black Panther, 2 mega huge successes in the box office, and Ant-Man, when the first movie came out, was kind of like that, like, really? Kind of like the unlikely hero superhero movie, right?
Literally the
I liked
smallest
it.
hero.
I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan.
Well,
And I'm a huge Evangeline Lilly fan, so 2 of them together. Dream team.
Dream team. So yes, I mean, I really enjoyed the heck out of the first Ant-Man movie. All right, it was
good.
It's a much different tone for that movie than there is for a lot of the other Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Let's
It had fun with itself. I mean, really. Like now they're especially when Ant-Man came out, like the superhero movies were getting like really serious and really gritty.
Yep.
And like there was this sense of something bigger.
Yeah.
But Ant-Man just had fun with itself.
Right.
It
in the sense that but Marvel was doing comedy bits too, because I mean
Right.
they had Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
which was chock full of comedy. I
So-
mean, laugh
one of my
riot type
favorites.
of thing. But I think what Ant-Man successfully did is they put a lot of it's light comedy with a lot of heart.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit of a different look for a Marvel film.
Right.
So it's not this like gigantic epic, dark epic. It's not the totally slapstick comedy. It was
a smaller
comedic,
movie,
but a heartfelt comedy. But it was on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
No, no pun intended. And size.
Really, micro, string theory sized.
And but Ant-Man and Wasp successfully takes that formula and brings it to the next level. So it basically, they duplicate the success, I believe, very well of the first movie. That kind of caught everybody off guard and said, "Wow, this is a much better movie than I expected it to be." And you get that same feeling, I think, coming out of Ant-Man and Wasp. Except I think it's actually a little bit better than the original. You have some development in the plot where, all right, we're not being reintroduced. We bring all the characters back that we loved from the first movie. All right, so you've got, you got Michael Douglas's Hank Pym character.
Mm-hmm.
You've got I can't even remember their names, but like basically his little team of criminals gone legit.
His little ant colony, if you will.
Yeah, but all those guys are back, and then you've got the added benefit of seeing now the Wasp in full regale, like they did at the end of the first Ant-Man movie. You get the tease that Evangeline Lilly is now going to be thrust into this role of, Hank Pym, her dad, is finally going to say, okay, I want you to basically take on the moniker of your mother's, what your mother's role was, and so that, and you get to see that basically in the flesh now going forward.
Yep.
And they really are kind of like a perfect tandem, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
You have villains in this movie that they're not villains. That's the thing. The wonderful thing is that you can actually take a look and be like, they're the antagonist for sure. There's a character named Ghost who is an antagonist, but you cannot. But when at the end of it,
it's kind of
you
like
basically
Homecoming's Vulture. Like you can really okay, I understand why they're doing this, and you almost.
You
want
mean
to
there
sympathize
can
for them.
be villains that are three-dimensional and actually
three-dimensional villains? My gosh, like
what madness is this?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the motivation. You're like, wow, I don't fault this person for this at all, And in this case, Ghost is driven by her pain. She's like in the most severe physical pain because of the condition that she has suffered through, which, we won't have to give all the details away, but I mean, and then you have a character who in the comic books is a beloved character, the guy who plays Goliath from the comic books.
Yeah.
Bill something. I can't remember his last name. Oh, I hate this. Anyway.
It's not Skarsgård.
It's not Bill Skarsgård.
It's not Bill Skarsgård, I swear to God.
Played so very well by Lawrence Fishburne. All right? And he takes on this role. Bill Foster. It just came to me. Bill Foster, who is Goliath. And they never actually mention him as the character Goliath, but he mentions that he was in the Goliath program. So there's lots of, again, more Easter eggs for the comic fans out there. And they understand the connections, And Bill Foster is trying to help the girl who plays the character of Ghost try to find a solution to her pain. So you're really you're seeing how the antagonists are really very sympathetic in a lot of ways, and it just makes for a great layered movie.
Absolutely.
So actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Which, depending on how you feel about this, you may or may not answer, but I'm not one who really cares for spoilers all that much. I am planning on seeing the movie, but you could describe the entire movie verbatim to me right now, and I would be okay with it. But what I'm really interested in is due to the fact that this movie came out after Infinity War, what is its tie-in to the entire MCU as a whole? Do we see, are there about 50% less people on the planet during this movie? Does this take place prior to it, or where does this fall?
Where does it fit in the timeline?
Okay, so your question is something that I had in my mind going into the theater, going, all right, how is this going to work? What's going to happen in this movie? I had the same questions you did, and we would be really disappointed if Marvel did not somehow acknowledge it, right? And of course they acknowledge it.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Of course they acknowledge it. You were left, obviously, with the understanding that the events in this movie, basically right up until the end, have happened before Infinity War actually takes place. All right. So the reason why Ant-Man is not in the Infinity War is because he is under house arrest by the FBI for his involvement in the Captain America Civil War movie. He has agreed to be under house arrest because he does not want to go back to prison because then he can't see his little girl Cassie. All right? So he is basically not, he has not involved himself at all with the latest stuff that's going on with Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
He has agreed to stay in his home.
I often forget that there was so much
with his ankle bracelet
backlash from Civil War that a lot of characters, because what came out since Civil War was Black Panther. I think we had one other Thor movie. We had Guardians of the Galaxy. So we don't really actually see very much of what happens on Earth after Civil War.
Exactly.
And I totally forgot, even up until Infinity War, I totally forgot that the Avengers were completely split up. There was some very real consequences to the Civil War.
Exactly. Well, Spider-Man: Homecoming would be the only hint of stuff that happened.
And since Iron Man was one of the few that was actually trying to stop Captain America and his defiance, his defiance against
against the registration effort.
Then obviously that would make sense that he would not be stuck behind bars. But I mean, several characters had to flee entirely.
Exactly.
I completely forgot about that fact.
Exactly. So, he's there. He's doing his thing. He's trying to basically do all the right things so he can finally get off probation and resume a normal life, and then resume a normal relationship with his daughter, who he still has visitation rights with. So that being said, as Marvel is so well known for, you have the extra scenes that come, all right, after the movie's over. Well, end credit scene. We have, hey, the movie's been out for a while. Chances are, if you haven't seen it yet,
that's on
you,
mister.
It's on you, and obviously you're not a huge Marvel fan. That's kind of how I look at it. But you basically have Ant-Man shrinking down to the ridiculously small molecular level and being sent off basically by Wasp and Hank Pym and a recently returned Janet Van Dyne, all right, who is now returned, who's played by Michelle Pfeiffer, by the way, in this movie. All right, and she's back. She's back from the from whatever that molecular world was.
Oh, so they actually do manage to.
Yes. So now
that's like an artistic rendition of the concept of string theory in physics, by the way. That's what those little swirly dots are.
Okay.
That's effectively what they're trying to do. Is it's supposed to be string theory.
So so basically, he is sent on, they're trying to do more research, and they send Ant-Man through again. They figure they can replicate what they did, the mission to save Janet. And when they send him in, he's communicating back with the people who are home on the regular planar level, right? And all of a sudden they stop communicating. And what you realize is the events of Infinity War have just happened. And gone is Michael Douglas's character. Hank Pym has disappeared. Janet has disappeared. And also Evangeline Lilly's Wasp character has disappeared. They've all faded from existence, leaving Scott, right?
Yep.
Scott in that molecular world, basically stranded. So what's going to happen now to him?
Wow.
He has no way back.
Wow.
So, and that's how they address that. So you're kind of like, whoa! At the end of the movie, you're like, because the whole movie you're feeling like it's like a little bit of a feel-good movie,
Yeah.
And then you're just left with that oh my gosh moment at the end. So yeah. So big doings. Ant-Man and Wasp, great movie. Should definitely check it out. I'm sure it'll be on Blu-ray probably in another 2 months or so.
Oh, less, absolutely.
Or less. So I'll definitely be picking it up.
I'll probably rent it.
Yeah.
I'll probably rent it.
All right, there you go. What else we got?
Well, kind of breaking flow. Again, we're doing that a lot this episode. We're going to be talking about Wizards of the Coast.
It is a pop culture vid.
It
we
is
never
pop
said
culture,
we were going
and
to only talk about movies and TV.
Yeah. I know. We're breaking new ground, people.
Breaking new ground.
So, Wizards of the Coast, their two biggest products, I guess you can call them, are Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
Never heard of them.
I know. These obscure games.
What's Dungeons and Dragons?
Don't worry about that. I'll explain it another time. So, when it comes to the marketability of it, Magic is a much bigger audience. They sell more of it. And Wizards, in their actually really smart business plan, are combining the two IPs. So, Wizards of the Coast has announced that the next campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons is Ravnica. And they're bringing in specific characters from Magic the Gathering, and they're bringing them into 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And likewise, I think I read that they're going to be releasing the next set of Magic cards, and they're going to have, like, Dungeons and Dragons characters, so you might find, like...
Well, I mean, they did, I can't remember what event it was. Recently, there was a major con where they actually released several different Magic cards, and one of those Magic cards was the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
The Sword of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It has some sort of ability where when you attack with it and certain parameters are met, it will summon a
D20?
Well, it will summon a dragon, and I guess on the pommel of the sword is a D20.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it.
I have to ask. I know one of our guys, at least, probably Ryan, since he's our judge, probably has a copy of the card, because I know several of our guys that go to the event. I can't remember what the event was.
But that being said, they have a card specifically addressing Dungeons and Dragons.
HasCon, that's what it was.
HasCon.
Of course. Hasbro is the company that prints cards.
That's
right.
Of
course.
Yep.
It would not surprise me that in future expansions of Magic, you have like Drista Warden cards, Belwar, Brunor Battlehammer,
Artemis and
Really,
Trelli.
Artemis and Trelli.
You know what? I might get back into Magic if they have like a set of like Neverwinter or
exactly,
or
dude.
just like this Sword Coast, and all of a sudden you're seeing like Dritz like spark. And
dude, I would totally get
Planeswalk.
I would get a Red Wizards deck, a Red Wizards of Thay deck. I would start playing Magic if they incorporated D&D into it.
You would.
So, of course I would.
Now,
so Wizards, aces to you. Your marketing scheme worked.
Now here's me. I guess I'm the curmudgeon about this idea. But I guess I'm being proven wrong since 2/3 of the group here like the idea. I can't stand the cross-pollination of anything, really. I couldn't stand it when Aliens crossed with Predator.
I
Junk.
thought that was great. I thought that when I saw Predator, I was pretty sure it was just like part of the Aliens franchise already.
Well, they kind of addressed that in Predator 2.
Then I was like 6. So.
Well, in Predator 2, they looking in
Probably
Predator's
should've
trophy room, and there's a xenomorph queen skull on display there. So yeah, they established
You're
him.
talking about the movie Predators, or Predator 2? Oh, the one with what's his name?
Oh God, who was it?
He plays the officer that
Yes.
gets caught up. I can't.
Yes, I can't remember the name of the actor, but it's that movie. He sees a Predator's trophy room, and on display is.
I created a monster.
Yes, you created the biggest monster. This isn't pop culture. It's just nerding out.
Why do you even mention that one? I should have known.
Because you know how much I love Aliens.
I should not have gone
Predators.
the xenomorph route.
At this point, and this is now we're getting to comic talk. At this point, their comic stories are so deeply intertwined, and it has been for like a decade and a half, so maybe even longer.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, they're the same universe. There's no getting away from it. It's not cross-pollinization anymore. It's just like not franchising singularly.
So it's like when Scooby-Doo started introducing characters like Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello in
The Harlem Globetrotters.
The Harlem Globetrotters,
those are the
and I was like,
best
come on!
Those are the best episodes.
You guys, this great day with a basketball, and the Harlem Globetrotters are hopping around behind them with basketballs, and they're like, "Yeah, we gotta solve this crime." It's like, wait a minute, why are you guys here again? You have no bearing on the story. You're just here.
Episode to find out why they're there.
Yeah.
Plot twist. It's their manager, Old Man Jenkin.
Listen, the Mystery Machine.
You meddling kids.
Those
meddling
group
globetrotters.
of mystery solvers, they're cross-dimensional. They're literally in every dimension, every universe.
That's true. They are cross.
I wouldn't be surprised.
DC
if,
is releasing Scooby-Doo comics now. Like,
is it DC?
Yeah.
DC is releasing.
Oh,
yeah, they
right.
have gritty Scooby-Doo comics.
The Apocalypse.
They're good.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing DC produces right now. No, that's not a slight. I'm just a huge Scooby-Doo fan, that's all.
And yet he gets mad whenever Scooby-Doo tries to have fun with it.
Tries to bring new characters into their expanded universe, the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe.
Come on.
SDCU.
Although I guess Scooby fans would say the Harlem Globetrotters and Abbott and Costello and Batman would not be the worst things that ever happened to Scooby-Doo. It would probably be Scrappy-Doo.
Oh yeah,
they don't like Scrappy-Doo.
They hate. People hate Scrappy so much that that's what they want. The major villain for the first.
I'll get him. I'll splat him.
Oh, let me at him.
Let me at him.
Hey, here's kind of circling back to something we had addressed earlier, not necessarily in the video, but you know, Hanna-Barbera did make a Godzilla cartoon. Why didn't Godzilla ever show up in a Scooby-Doo cartoon?
Ah, good point, actually. Well, you know, because I believe that Godzilla cartoon happened in the 80s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Most of the Scooby-Doo stuff was actually produced in the 70s.
Zach, can you imagine Velma pulling Godzilla's head off and like, oh, it was Old Man Jenkin.
No, they would have pulled off Godzuki's head and realized it's just Scrappy-Doo.
I'm pretty sure that was literally the plot.
Why are you wanna? And on that tangent of somehow getting from
that's
Dungeons
like
and Dragons
D&D and Magic
to Scooby-Doo.
To Scooby-Doo and the Globetrotters.
6 degrees of everything, I guess.
And we used the Predator to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
You just never know where we're going to go with the conversation here.
Hey, turns out I bring a whole lot of life to this. Who knew? Do we have anything else?
You literally edit the video, so you...
Good point. Do we have anything
Tyler,
else?
is there anything that you have that you want to bring up?
What do I want to talk about?
Did so much preparation. Dog ate his homework.
Well, the dog is actually staying with us right now. Oh man.
The cat ate his homework after the dog ate it. The dog ate it, barfed it up, and the cat ate it.
So I'm going to fill in the gap here because we got some dead space.
Air.
While Tyler thinks about what he might want to bring up pop culture-wise, I will say this, and I really, really wish Rob was here tonight. However, he's doing some stuff to prepare to to hopefully get on a police department. So, Rob, if you're watching this, good luck. We're pulling for you.
If you're not watching this, shame on you.
But Rob and I have been huge fans of the Cloak and Dagger series that were on Freeform.
I started watching that after last month. You guys suggested I started watching it. I haven't finished it yet, but...
How many episodes did you get into it?
I'd say about three or four episodes in.
3 or 4? So you haven't seen the best stuff.
Oh.
All right. I can't wait. This series, all right, you know, Rob had to basically coach me through it because I was like, after watching 2 episodes, I was kind of like, you know, I'm not seeing the appeal. You know, I'm going to watch it out of obligation because I do run a comic store. I should watch this, right? But he was like, no, just stick with it. You're going to love it. And sure enough, it gets crazy. This show is really good, solid. It's already been greenlit for a 2nd season. So I don't want to say too much more because I really do want Rob here for the discussion. So I think we'll probably save it for next month. But yeah, hopefully by that time you'll be caught up.
Hopefully.
Even if you're not sitting here, maybe Peanut Gallery can
I'll be shouting things from the back.
Yeah, exactly. So
maybe I'll have a microphone clipped on just so you guys can actually hear me.
There we go.
We're going to get a whole lot of, okay, we need to turn up volume on the 3rd mic.
Come on.
So that'll give you an opportunity to go out and watch all 10 episodes that you can actually get on Hulu. And that way you won't get spoiled when we start talking about it next month. But now, is there anything that you can think of, or?
I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, what have I even watched in the past month? I think like.
Didn't you finish New Girl?
I did, but that was season 6, and that like finished up like months and months and months ago. That's nothing new. Although it was fantastic. I absolutely love Zoe Deschanel. She does excellent work writing the story. She just takes characters and just does so much work with them. It's absolutely awesome. I love her work. But that has nothing to do with this month or what's going on this month. I think like I saw Super Troopers 2, but even that's been on DVD for a few weeks.
I still haven't seen Super Troopers 2.
Me neither.
So.
It's hilarious. It is probably, this is hard to say, but it's probably better than the first one. The references to the first one are excellent, but I mean, it's literally Super Troopers in Canada.
Okay.
So it's
Super Trooper 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It's hilarious.
I was always more of a Club Dread guy. I liked that one. Penelope. What a nice name.
It's all right.
It was excellent. I quite enjoyed it.
Those guys, the Broken Lizard team's quite funny. So there was something a little bit off, though.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a little.
For sure.
So, all right, we'll have to catch up on that. I'll have to watch Super Troopers too.
I gotta add that to the list now.
Definitely parental advisory.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Not for kids.
Not for kids.
Absolutely not.
If it's any indication, if it's like the first one, then no.
It's worse than the first one.
Oh,
Okay,
in that
yeah.
case, yeah.
Absolutely worse.
If you're under 18, do not watch this. Wait till you're an adult, or you have your parents' permission. Don't blame us
Parents,
for you getting in trouble.
don't-
And you
give
might get
permission.
dumber after watching it too. That's the other thing. It might
No.
kill your brain cells.
No.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you this time. But next time, who knows who will show up to the video shoot?
Maybe I'll be
Maybe
Maybe.
Bill
you weren't here.
Skarsgård will be here with us.
Oh,
no,
God, could
just
you
kidding.
imagine? He'll just be in the window. just
Peeking in the
looking in.
window.
Bill, get a hold of us.
Call me.
Find us on our
Call me.
website.
Is there anything you guys want to plug before we sign off? I mean, I know we have a
Plugs
Facebook.
over there.
I know
No,
we
it
have a
looks like
Facebook. We have a great
I
stories
mean, all the
Facebook.
lights are on, so
Oh,
it looks like it's already
sure.
plugged in.
Let's see. Yes. Come visit us. It's shopgreatstories.com, soon to be greatstoriesincorporated.com. We're in the middle of a website redesign, but also we have blogs there. You can read the Crank File, which is our friend Ken Lee, who's not here tonight, but he writes a weekly comic blog, and we do the video blogs that you are watching right now get aired there. So, at any rate. And also, if you're in Uxbridge, Massachusetts, or in the surrounding area, come visit the store and talk to one of us. There's a good chance you'll run into one of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
we'd
definitely
love to meet you.
one of us.
I might not be here.
He might not be here, but either of us will probably be here.
Exactly. So do come visit us,
Maybe on, like, a
and we thank you
Sunday.
very much for watching. And please give us a hint on like what you want us to talk about next time around, and we'd be happy to do our homework and have a discussion around that.
Well,
So
they will.
Yeah,
Tyler will just fake it till he makes it. So
that's what he does best.
Well, recently, I don't know if you noticed, recently I've been talking less, which I find it's a lot easier to not have to
you have been talking less.
bull
We'd
my
like
way
to see
through
you.
everything.
Yes. We've been talking with the production team about inserting thought bubbles over you.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of thoughts during these videos. They just aren't always about what we're talking about.
Oh.
I can see that.
I'm a bit of a daydreamer.
See, I always
Daydream
thought that was
believer.
the vacant look in your eye.
I spent this entire time thinking about one of two things, either Evangeline Lilly or about aliens.
I'm not sure how those two go
Comment
together.
below, too.
Actually,
But
don't
you
want
Let
to
us
let
know
how
what you were
these two go
thinking
together.
about.
Xenomorphs
It
and
was definitely aliens.
elves. Anyway. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for watching, and tune into our comic talk video, which will be coming up shortly, or maybe it preceded it. I don't know, because
Depends on when I upload them.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Take care.